So today we have Josh Davey here with us over phone, who played at Lynchberg College. Thanks for being here, Josh.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
So how did you choose Lynchburg as where you wanted to study and play lacrosse at?
So I graduated high school in 2009, and the summer going into my senior year, I played in a recruiting event up at Gettysburg. It was called Top Star. It doesn't exist anymore. And played well, was able to make an all-star team. Had never heard of Lynchburg College, but was able to talk to Coach Kudelka there for a little while we were on the field. He reffed one of my games and found out some more info about it. Drove down with my dad in the fall of that year, got to watch a practice, and never looked back. Looked at a couple other schools very briefly, but I kind of knew once I stepped foot on there that was the place for me. In regards to the academics, what I wanted to major in, as well as the kind of fit that I wanted with a smaller liberal arts school and a very competitive program. I think at the time when I was going in, they were number 3 in the country, so it was a perfect fit for me. And it was one of the best decisions to this day I had ever made in my life. So it was a very special place, and I'm not looking back from there. So it was great.
Okay, awesome. Or what did you think the biggest transition for you was going from high school to college was?
In terms of lacrosse?
Yeah, lacrosse.
Just the speed, I think, and size. I went to a very small public high school in Baltimore, and didn't have the best coaching as well. So the biggest thing for me was trying to be a sponge and soak up as much information as I could, and kind of hit the weight room and get on the track as much as I could, because the size and speed was so much different from what I was used to playing against. So that was a big kind of transition for me, and by the time I got out of there, I had some success. So it was definitely difficult, but very worth it in the end.
And then what about biggest academic transition?
Sure, I think it was the cool thing was that it was a small school with, now I think it's about 2,800 kids. I had very small class sizes. It was just a time, though. In high school, I could come home and there were days where I didn't have homework, but being a college athlete at that level, which is, a pretty high Division III level, it was so important. Time management was so crucial. I knew that if I had practice from 4 to 6, that the rest of my night was going to be spent doing homework, until the wee hours, until I got everything done. So it was more of a time management thing, was kind of the big jump I had to make, whereas in high school it was a little more relaxed. I really had to take myself seriously as soon as practice was over, knowing that I had only a certain amount of time to be ready for the next day of class. Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was your favorite highlight that you had while playing there at Lynchburg?
My favorite highlight, there's so many. Oh my God. My senior year, I guess, it was definitely, my favorite year, being a senior and a captain on the team. Oh God, there's so many. One moment doesn't really, I can't really pick one. But just being on the team and having the bus ride. I'd say if I pick one thing, my sophomore year we played, my junior year we played Roanoke, which was a big rival, and we had not beaten them until this point. We played them, went into overtime, and I came back and ended up beating them in overtime by 1, obviously. So that was kind of the big one at Roanoke. My junior year, we ended up making it to the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. So that, just being a big rival in Roanoke, that was probably one of the most memorable games, certainly, of my career.
Great story. And then last question, what suggestions do you have for any high school players that are looking to make the jump to playing college?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to just do your homework. There's a lot of really great schools out there, both, high-level lacrosse and as well as academics. And finding that right fit for you. There's no rush. There's a lot of pressure these days with high school recruiting, with kids who are so young, committing to a school they, probably don't know that much about. So my biggest advice is to do your homework and make sure you can find a school that, you could go to without lacrosse, a school that you still fit in and have a lot of friends that have guys you have stuff in common with without playing, because that is so important. God forbid you get injured or something like that. You want to make sure that this is a home and it's something you remember for the rest of your life. It's certainly going to be the best years of your life. So you want to make sure you're in the right place. So I would definitely just say do your homework and make sure you're making the most informed decision possible in regards to lacrosse and academics as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. That's all the time we have today. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Luke. I appreciate it.